It's been a couple of weeks since I've posted anything. I've been traveling and doing a lot of things. So today I wanted to cover a very important subject. And this is particularly targeted at those new YouTubers that are working on your channel. You're working really hard. And I want to, I'm not sure, I'm trying to say this without offending anyone, but I want to cover a subject that's very sensitive out there on the internet, and it really comes down to, and the polite way to say this is, there's some advice givers that are stretching reality, and the not polite way of saying it is, there's some folks out there that are just plain out lying about how to grow your channel. And let me go over a couple of those items, because I don't want to leave this in a gray zone. But one of the things that I see a lot of is that people are saying, flip this switch and you go from 1 subscriber to 1,000, or change this setting and you're going to have this magic crowd show up excuse me, to your channel, and everything's going to be perfect. And I just want to say it's not true. It doesn't work that way. It's not going to work that way. And if you're looking for that magic bullet, you're going to spend a tremendous amount of time watching a bunch of stuff that gets you nowhere, doing a bunch of things that don't work. And sure, are there going to be some minor differences for if you accidentally turn on this flag or turn on that flag? Sure, yeah, of course. That's why the flags are there. Filter out children, add only children, put it on children TV, or add subtitles or those type of things to some things when you need them, and the right people will show up to watch them. And could that turn other people off? Sure, it can. If you're going in and you're saying, hey, you have altered content, and you don't, then you're going to have the wrong audience watching it. So there are things like that that do make a difference, but for the most part, answer the questions with real answers. Don't lie. Don't try to scam the system. Don't try to break YouTube. Don't try to create a video that's just going to get people for the sake of getting them. That's not going to help your channel. What is the most important thing you can do for your channel, and is first accept that it's going to be somewhat of a small grind. Even the fastest growing channels, I've got a couple of channels, and one of them grows extremely slow and very painful, but when you get those subscribers, they're very loyal. The other one grows very easily, easily 200, 300, 400 subscribers a day, but they're not near as loyal. So you need to make sure that you're sticking with the basics. And let's go over the basics so you kind of have an idea of what I believe is the important aspect of building a YouTube channel. One, you need to post on, and you're going to hear the word regular a couple of times here, because everyone confuses regular with posting on a regular schedule. A regular schedule helps a bit, but it's more important in the long run than it is in the short run. Initially, what is really important for you, especially if you are under 1,000 subscribers and you don't have, but less than, let's say, 20 videos, your job at this point is to, and I'm going to use the word practice. I'm not sure I really would like to call it practice, but I don't have that idea. But your job at this point is to learn what your process for creating a video is, and fine-tune it and release some content to get a backlog and to move forward. That's really what you're after at this point. So you want to make sure that you're recording on a regular basis, whether that's once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week. You'll find that a lot of the newer creators, Rob the Maritimer, when they first started, and myself with my solar channel, we were releasing 3 videos a week. And the idea here is to learn to do what you're doing and get better at it and accelerate the process. And I'll give you an example of what I mean by that. Let's say that you're releasing 1 video a month and you're spending all your time on it. At the end of a year, you have 12 videos. You're still only halfway to what I consider even a beginner. You're not even a beginner until you get into, the 50 and 60 videos. So it's going to take you 4 years just to come up with 48 videos. And I hate to say it, if that's your plan, I hope your plan for growth is slow. Because unless you're just a fluke, unless you're just an all-star and you are one of those people who get lucky, then it's not going to, and I don't mean lucky, unless you're just one of those people who create that perfect content that explodes the first time out. And the only luck in that is that you're lucky you picked the right subject, and that's actually a level of skill also. But unless that's you, it's going to take you years to come up with the right amount of content. Now, let's suppose that you do 3 videos a week. And yes, it's a lot of work. And yes, it takes a lot of effort to do 3 videos a year. But if you're doing 3 videos a week, now let's suppose that let's just for a second, let's say you're going to do that for 3 months. That means you've got 12 months, and let's say you do it for 4 months. That's even a better comparison. At 4 months, you have 4 years of videos done. You've done 48 videos. So you are already at the spot where you would have been after 4 years of doing your 1 video a month. So it's really important that you post a consistent subject matter. In other words, try to attract the same people over and over and over. Stay very isolated at first and expand slowly as you grow. In other words, for example, let's take that if you're a fisherman and you might start off by saying, let's go bass fishing, and stick with bass fishing and bass fishing equipment for a short while, and then start to expand to other types after you've got that initial growth done and an initial crowd. That way that every video, the goal here at the very beginning is that you want every person who watches and subscribes to your channel to want to watch the next video. So you need to ask yourself, is this new video similar enough to the last video that everyone who was subscribed at that point will still want to watch it at this point? Also, you need to ask yourself, is it new enough that that new people will see it and say, without knowing the 12, 24, 36, 48 videos before, without knowing what that content is, say, wow, that was a good video on its own. So my advice this week, this day, this morning, this sun in my eyes breaking morning, is don't listen to all the gurus that are telling you to flip this switch and flip that switch and expect a miracle. Are some of those switches valuable? Yes, they are. Some of them are really valuable. But pay more attention to those people who tell you to create content, to do it on a consistent basis, to talk about a consistent subject, to get the videos out, and to get that experience done to where 3 or 4 months from now, you're years ahead of where you would be if you hadn't done that. That's where you need to put your effort. That will get you further ahead than anything. And in the meantime, let's hope you have a viral video to grow your channel instantly. But take the time now to practice so when it happens, you know how to create good content going forward and you have enough experience to understand your audience. Thanks for watching. I hope you get something out of this. If you did, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.